Welcome to Rewind the Podcast.
Welcome back to
Rewind.
And have a cup of Auld Lang Syne. It's 2025.
What's Auld Lang Syne?
That's the song they sing for the New Year. Remember? Oh my gosh, I just forgot how it goes. It's like
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Auld Lang Syne. Nope, that's too one short day.
It's like
oh my gosh. Yeah. If I never know the melody, do you know what I sing? That American ball game song.
Take me out to the ball game.
It's like forward and keep your eye on the grand old flag for all. Okay, my mind's in a weird place right now. No, there's like, but for all acquaintance be forgot. Keep your eye on the grand old flag. That's where I was going. Okay, yeah. I promise I was not having to come apart. But for all acquaintance be forgot. Welcome to 2025. We're back from the holidays, from vacation, from rehab. Gabe. No, not really. Welcome back. That's Raven. I'm Blake. You know Gabe over there. And we are so excited to welcome you to 2025. I got to ask you, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I know we did all that last week, but you know, it was like...
Yeah.
Did you eat your grapes?
I did not eat my grapes.
No, you didn't get under the table?
I'm not superstitious.
Okay. Oh, you a little stitious?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not really. But I do, no shade to the grapes, but I just feel like I manifest in different ways.
It's not that you're superstitious. You're not crawling under a table.
I mean, yeah.
That's the key. You're not doing elbows, and you're not going to go in 1 minute.
And I'm also not eating 12 grapes in a minute.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
No, thank you.
You're about to relax.
Yeah, for sure.
Now this big mouth hoe.
You said I got all grapes in 10 seconds.
Are you allowed to tell me what you're manifesting, or is it like a birthday wish?
I had like 4 big ones.
How big?
I know what they are. One is about work, about your work direction. I know that you want to pivot in like your career a little bit.
So work.
But no, different. Like he's going to have a side project. I can feel that for you for this year.
A side hustle, if you will.
And then the other is relationship and having a bae.
So if you're out there.
Gabe's phone number is
He's
655.
single and he likes long walks on the beach. I don't know what the fourth one is.
It's either money or travel.
Travel. It's travel. 100%.
I did the 12 grapes under the table.
Did you really?
I snuck under a foosball table and I almost choked. and they said at first it was for love, and I was like, oh, get out of here. And they said no, it was for other things. And so I was like, okay, so I started popping them. But let me tell you, since I did it, I've gotten a lot of people liking me on Tinder. And I said, I don't know if I have time for that. I have time for this, for our people out there. Hello, I'm loving you this year. Not like that. Well.
Okay.
Some of you follow us and you are very hot, so my DMs are open legally.
Yeah, if your name rhymes with Toey.
Yeah, but we. Quickest way to get me to move on. Let's talk about Beyonce's halftime show during the Christmas Day football
extravaganza
between the Lions and the Texans. And the Rams, they were all there.
I was like,
who was it?
It was the Texans. No, was it the Cowboys?
Honestly, who cares? Beyonce. It was the Texans, but Beyonce. Who cares? Who cares?
It was the Texans and the
because Houston.
Right.
And then they lost horribly.
Yeah, who was it?
2 points. That's not even a field goal. It's not. I thought when you kick a field goal, it's 3. No, if you're gonna
welcome to our sports podcast.
I just love that Michael Jackson. He plays for the Bulls.
Okay.
Hello, Beyonce.
I need to hear your thoughts first.
Oh my God.
Overall, how'd you feel about the performance? Was it a hit? Was it a miss?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I was a little nervous going in because I was at home with my La Familia. And I love you, family. It was so nice to see you. I miss you. But they tend to sometimes lean to the side of like rituals, witch, that kind of thing. But half of them were in the room eating my mom's brisket, and so the other half were in there watching the show. And all of them could not say one bad thing. That show.
Not say that people was eating your mama brisket.
Why?
That was given like I'll eat your mama brisket. Like
don't sexualize my mother's brisket. She uses Claude's marinade. Don't you sexualize my mother's brisket. It's the one thing I look forward to. Well, besides seeing the family.
Yeah. Okay, good.
But My first takeaway, Beyonce did more in 1 minute than the CMAs have done for black people in the last 20 years. She said, hello, 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 hello. Who was it? It was like Tiara, Raina, Tanner, and Brittany. And then she brought out Shabuzi later. Shabuzi! And then honorary black Post Malone. So, but I was just like, she gave credit to everybody. And I was just like, in that amount of time. And then she said, and now I'm Beyonce. And then she just was Beyonce. The performance itself, I wrote this in my notes. It's just flawless. Like, it's
Wake
just
up.
literally
Post
flawless.
up.
Flawless. Like, and then did you see that behind the scenes clip on TikTok where when Shabuzi's playing it shows her toweling off and then drinking water and then effortlessly being like, like, she's just Beyonce.
She's Beyonce, bitch.
Are you working hard or are you Beyonceing? That's the new 2025 right there.
See, but I will say, it implies that she doesn't work hard. When you this is a lot of, I've heard this take before.
Okay.
About Beyonce. Because she is so otherworldly and such like this mystical caricature of herself, really, it implies that it's natural and not because she's put in decades worth of work to be able to show up in that way. So I think it's a little bit of both.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's like when we watch the Olympics and we're like, you have those people who are like, if I train real hard for like a year, I could do the balance beam. And it's like, no, these people have been training since they were children. Quite literally toddlers. And it's just like she's had all these years. But like I'm saying, so that's why I said, are you working hard or are you Beyonce? Because that's a level above hard work. She eating that. Do you remember that homecoming, eating the apples and like no fish, no dairy, no sugar? And then she calls Jay-Z and she's like, I fit into the pants. He's like, all right, cool, I'll call you back. That's where Lemonade came from, even though it was already out.
Men just
suck.
Okay.
And I date them. That's two things can be true.
Some men are great.
I don't like men. I'm attracted to them.
I like certain men.
I like certain men too. Jonathan Bailey, he can do no wrong.
Okay.
He could baby girl me. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Oh, what'd you think?
I thought it was perfect. As close to perfect as it could get. The imagery was beautiful. The choreography was perfect. She sounded amazing. The special guests were amazing. The running joke in our house is my dad will always be like, I mean, she's no Taylor Swift, but to piss me off.
Woo! Not Mr. Dawson going for it.
And afterwards he looked at me and he was like, can't nobody do nothing with Beyonce. She's in a league of her own. That was the best halftime performance ever. She was better than her own self.
Oh, yeah. Well, because she did the 2013. And, when the one thing from the 2013 Super Bowl where she goes, I love to look so deep in your eyes. And then all the Beyonces go out and she's just off center. And I've seen on Twitter where it's like, that still bothers her to this day because she's a Virgo. But I was like, she was like, no, this is, I'm not special guest. We're coming back. We're doing this.
It was perfect.
Now, I will say, my one question, the handkerchief. Or the bandana. When they're doing it, it looked like she maybe didn't have one, or was she intentionally given that? Because if that was a mess up, it did not look like one.
Oh, I don't know.
Because she did it for a second, and then she did her arm like this, and then the guy gave her one, and then she had one. And I was like, if that was a mess up, it looked so clean.
Yeah.
So what were you gonna say? Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I'm okay with that. I was gonna say my highlight was seeing our baby Blue get up there and be a big girl.
She is having her year, Mufasa.
Yes, she did such a good job. And also, there was a point where from different angles, you see her kind of flub the choreography. And I loved that moment, seeing it on the flip side, because the way that she recovered, I was like, oh, she is a performer. She got back in it. I just felt like a proud auntie for Blue.
Just proof that you gotta work for it.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. Okay, so what did you walking away when it said announcement 114.25? What do you think? What?
I'm gonna tell you what I want.
Okay.
And then I'm going to tell you what I think.
I'll do that. Okay.
And then I'm going to tell you what I will crash out over.
Okay. Crash out, good or bad?
Bad.
Okay, cool.
I want a tour.
Okay.
I would if it's a tour announcement, I'm screaming, crying, throwing up.
Okay.
I'm gathering my scents that I have left after the holidays, and I'm getting a ticket.
I was with her when she cast her Christmas bonus. She can afford it.
Oh, shut up. And I will die and love it.
Okay.
What I think it's gonna be is some type of we have to go to her.
That's what I was going to ask you. If it's a residency, was that the same or no?
No.
Okay.
I do think we're going to have to go to her. I think it's going to be a festival situation, maybe in Houston, that kind of thing, which I don't want to do that because
Houston's hot.
And the beauty of seeing Beyonce in like a stadium is like there's always a good seat. It's hard at those like festival things to like feel like you have a good seat because I don't want to be up in the front because I have a true honest fear of getting trampled, but I also don't want to be
Astroworld.
Yeah, but I also don't want to be so far back that like it's not.
You're pissed off and you're watching screens.
Correct.
Yeah. Also, you don't like dirt.
And I don't like dirt.
Do you think it's going to be at, remember how there was the rumor that she was going to do at the Sphere in Las Vegas?
See, I would love that.
I would go to the Sphere. It's inside, and the visuals. So our friend Mark, a friend of the pod, hello Mark, he went to something for New Year's, and he said it like is truly as like wild in person as it looks like when it's on a screen. And he said there were some little points where like the graphics of what was there was like. You're like, oh, okay, like I'm looking at a screen now. But he said, I know for a fact, because he loves Beyonce, he's like, if Beyonce did it, it would be
perfect.
But I heard there's been some like with that.
I would love a Sphere. I would love that more than a like a Coachella, Beachella part 2 kind of thing. Now, Beyonce has Ashley, shout out to Ashley, our homegirl.
Hello, Ashley.
Made a good point yesterday on the phone with me and you. We was on her.
Talking about something totally different.
Talking about something that rhymed with Toey. So,
this is my year to be bold. If your name is Joey and you know Raven and Ashley, guess what? I have a crush on you. Deal with it. Continue.
You better keep that.
Do you like bears?
Okay, enough. Ashley,
Soon to be an honor.
Shut up. Ashley made a point to say Beyonce never
gives the people what they want.
No.
In that regard.
She never schedules announcements.
T.
She is you wake up in the morning, you have an album. You wake up in the morning, you have a this. That is how she communicates with us, which I love. My thing is, whenever she schedule announcements,
she pisses you off.
She pissed me off because it's shampoo, conditioner, eyeshadow. Beyonce, I love you. I will send you an ugly text message, an ugly DM. If you're like, sacred round 2.
Yeah. Come get my cowboy Carter eyeshadow, red, white, and blue. Nobody wears blue eyeshadow.
Get your hair mask. I'm going to crash out.
You'll be like, no, hair's fake. Don't believe it. Sacred my ass.
We know it's so weird when we see it.
Okay, I agree. But my thing is, didn't she technically announce Cowboy Carter? She said when it was coming out because we all looked forward to it.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
The Renaissance, did that just get dropped?
Yeah, but I think it's because everybody else started surprise drop. Because Beyonce was the original surprise dropper.
Mm-hmm. She said, boop.
So I think once everyone else started doing it, she was like, okay, now I'm going to go back to like the build up.
Okay. I think I would love a tour, but I'm going to equate that with I'll go see her because I told you this is my year to travel.
Yeah.
My Dua Lipa year.
Yeah.
So I would go see her at the Sphere. There's nothing really big enough that can hold her in Nashville if she wanted to do like something country. Now, I will say this. Technically, the true birthplace of country music is Bristol, Tennessee, which overrides with Virginia, and that's where they do the where they get in the cars and race NASCAR. And that holds 100,000 people.
Oh.
And it's stadium and floor, so I was like, that could
would
be
be cool.
Now, Bristol, Virginia, getting a hotel there, eat my ass. I'm not doing that.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have to RV it.
We going Gabe said,
we're the last people on the planet who would ever
we wouldn't know how
get in an RV. We wouldn't know how.
What I think it's actually going to be is they have like a Netflix collection right now, and it's Homecoming and the halftime show. And so I'm going to actually tie this with this would piss me off. If it's like, here's Renaissance, that would be fine, like the movie. And then if it's like, here's the Beyonce collection, and it's like Cadillac Records, Obsessed, like, and it's just all Beyonce stuff. I'm like,
that's a good point, though. Like, I haven't considered that. I don't want to watch Renaissance at home. No shade.
No, it was
I
so cool in a theater, though.
I do, but like, if that's the announcement, I'm also going to be disappointed, which is why I don't like when people do announcements. Because it's like, it's never what. If it's not a tour, I'm gonna be disappointed in anything that's not a tour.
Oh well, people said, do you think she's already gonna go ahead and jump into a part 3?
Okay, she could. Because the halftime show was so beautifully done, I do feel like it gave Cowboy Carter its moment as far as live performances are concerned. We don't necessarily have to have a tour because she did that. Now, selfishly, I don't want that to be the case because then that means we're in Act 3 and it's over. And
I'm loving this. Like,
I kind of want us to drag out this Act 2 a little bit longer, and
just the cowboy of it all would be so
Yeah,
cunty, though. Like,
it
we already
would.
wore hats to Renaissance, but like to get in like full cowboy garb, I could use my work outfit.
like seriously, like I just really want Carter to have more of its moment because it is so revolutionary, and I feel like it would feel rushed if we move on.
Also, just digging her heels in
Yeah.
to country music,
Yeah.
rodeo.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be these beautiful black country artists,
Yeah.
and all the people who are like, she's not country, blah blah. She's a propagandist. All this, like, we can just move on past it.
Let's get into the propagandist conversation. So, I'm going to start this off by saying no one is above critique.
Okay, who are we critiquing?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
As a Beyoncé fan,
Oh, yeah.
no one is above critique. As a Beyoncé fan, I do think that we have to acknowledge her insane amount of wealth. I think that personally, and this is a controversial opinion,
$1 billion on an elevator.
I don't believe that being a black billionaire is the same as being a white billionaire.
Okay.
Personally, I look at black billionaires as redistribution of wealth. Personally.
What do you mean?
I think that it was never intended for black people to be billionaires. That was never, the system is not set up for black people to amass that type of wealth. And so if you are a black person who has amassed that type of wealth, you have had to navigate a system that is not the same as your counterparts.
I agree.
And because that was not the intention, it does bring about the conversation that black generational wealth is not the same amount of exploitation. And this is very controversial, and I'm just going to say that right now. This is a very controversial thing to say. It is not the same to me.
Okay. But real quick, off the top of your head, can you name another black billionaire besides Jay-Z and Beyonce?
Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, T.
Huh?
Is Tyler Perry a billionaire?
Rihanna.
Okay. Yes, he rode them fake wigs all the way to the top.
So, yeah, that's just my very humble opinion. I heard it.
Oh, okay.
I heard it. And like I said, and feel how you feel. Don't come for me in the comments because, like I said, I know it's very controversial.
Who is it controversial with, though?
I just don't. People, listen, I don't want to sound super capitalist. I don't want to come across as like, whatever. And I also think it's disingenuous to pretend as if Jeff Bezos' level of wealth is the same as Beyonce's level of wealth.
No.
Or Elon Musk's level of wealth is the same as Jay-Z's level of wealth. And I think those are two separate conversations that get dragged into the same conversation.
Yeah.
And I feel like it lacks nuance to talk about it in that way. Does that make sense?
No, I understand that. So wait, my question is that what like the propagandist thing is?
Okay, so starting from the beginning, there's a creator, her name's Han or Han, I think it's Han. And she kind of made this flippant video, kind of joking, but kind of serious, basically saying Beyonce is the best propagandist of all time.
Okay.
Now, because the Cowboy Carter visuals imagery is very much centered around black Southern pride, black Texans to be specific.
I don't have anything to do with that, but get chunking the deuces up. For those listening, I didn't want it to just sound like I have anything to do with that.
And so there's a lot of imagery of red, white, and blue. There's a lot of imagery of American pride. And some people looked at that as propaganda, as this pro-America propaganda. And that, she grew up middle class and did not have the same, child. Basically, another video was made where a woman, I can't remember her name, was like, Black people can't relate to Beyonce because she grew up middle class and went to private school, as if that's exclusive to white people. So people been stepping in it left and right on TikTok regarding that. So it was this like critique of her being people being uncomfortable with the pro-America stance that performance in the album took.
Okay, so I have a lot of questions, and I'm going to try and get through them quick because we still have a lot to talk about. But okay, the pro-propagandist thing. My thing with someone grew up middle class, like blah, 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 or like even with nepotism and things like that, and it's going to go a little deep, which she wasn't really nepotistic. I don't know if that's the word, but
big neps.
You can still grow up in a place of privilege and still have to deal. I think universal themes of racism, universal themes of not getting treated fairly, not getting what you deserve, those are still universal themes. Now, granted, they are much bigger when it comes to equity and equality and things like that, but we see it today where she will go and throw her whole out there on a halftime show, and people will be like, yeah, but Taylor did it for 3 hours. She only had to do it for 15 minutes. I would love to see her do that for 2 years in a row. Yeah. And it's just like, you're always going to find an excuse, and you're always going to find something to bitch at somebody about. Also, when it goes to like the whole like wealth propagandist thing, this might be a hot take. I think if your country is doing what it should, you can be proud to be from there. And I think one of the things we saw with Kamala Harris and why we voted for her is it was giving everybody has a chance. And so if that's the America you want to see and you want to celebrate, that's totally fine. Red, white, and blue, these things go deep. But, you know, you can acknowledge that the country was started horribly and off racist judgments. And like you say, we're going to go find like our religious freedom. And then now we're doing Handmaid's Tale at times. But I'm just like, you can still want the country you want to live in.
Exactly. And I think where the critique sets in is with this pro-America propaganda argument is that she has not spoken out against the genocide, and she allowed her movie concert to be shown in Israel. So that paired with this now pro-American propaganda is where the criticism comes in. And like I said, you can have that criticism. That's fine. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But my issue was, as a Black Southern person, I'm from Alabama.
Hey.
It's why can I not be proud of a country that my ancestors built? My red, white, and blue might not be your red, white, and blue, and that's okay.
And that's true.
But like, do not take me out of the American equation and my ancestors out of the American equation as if they didn't build this on their back.
That part.
So like, I don't understand why patriotism is exclusively white.
Or exclusively conservative.
Exactly. And why we have to then deny Black Southern heritage and what that means to us because of a group of people who took it and perverted it. Like, I'm still allowed to be a proud American, not based upon like capitalism and the way that we do. I don't agree. Listen, I'm not exclusively that patriotic if I'm gonna keep it a buck. And you could take that and say what you want to say about it. If you want me to do something for the Patriots, if you want to invite me to the White House, I'll come. But I'm not one to be super patriotic. But I am very proud of my Southern heritage and like the determination and grit it takes for the blood running through my veins for those people and what they overcome. I'm allowed to be proud of that.
Absolutely.
And I think it is so odd that people don't listen to the lyrics of Cowboy Carter and hear the critiques of America in the whole premise of the thing. So I do feel like overall the criticism is valid. Feel how you feel, but it also feels weird that we can never just celebrate a Black woman's success in a way that doesn't have to be like muddled. And I've just been engaging with the content and being like, whoa.
If you're going to argue to the point where it's just like, it's like we're mad at each other. Why? I don't know.
But also, I do think that like, it's like fighting with your cousins kind of. Like, that's kind of the energy it was giving of like, my only issue was when white people was being in it. Cause I was like,
shut up.
This ain't
yeah,
Gabby,
this is not, no.
Just, girl, keep it. But yes, it's been a very good thing. But I am really excited for the announcement. We'll circle back.
All this to say, Beyonce, announce a tour.
And we'll circle back and let y'all know our feelings once we actually get the announcement.
Yeah.
But okay, moving on along.
Moving on along, we got to take it down a little bit.
Oh, no.
Not too much, but Jimmy Carter got his robe.
I'm so happy for Jimmy.
He went to the upper room.
Singing in the eternal choir.
He said, yes.
I love
I couldn't think of any more.
Jimmy Carter passed away at 100 years old.
100. He's no longer this. He's this. What? Judge Judy did it. I can do it too.
That was terrible.
I'm sorry. The last photo I saw of him, he was looking at that sky like he had already gone on.
I know. Listen, 100 is a long time to be living. I'm happy for him that he has been able to transition on to the other side. I think it was time. He lost his wife years ago. It sounds like he was surrounded by family and friends. Now, I will say, upon his passing, people were really like pro Jimmy, anti Jimmy politically. I was like,
oh my gosh,
just
yes.
let the man go on.
We all loved him. Well, the first thing I thought was funny was that he was like, I want to be alive to see a Kamala Harris presidency or a woman president. And when she didn't win, he said, I'm out. He said, I can't do this again. But I agree because people I know who talk about Jimmy Carter, that it's so respectful. And he was great for humanitarian causes and like America and things like that. And then as soon as that man croaked, a lot of evangelical Christians were like, hope you're having fun in hell. How's that hot tub with Hitler, bitch? And I was just like, what? And they're like, it's because he supported gay people.
The turn on Jimmy from the evangelicals, it threw me for a loop. I was like, y'all don't like Jimmy?
Imagine how tired we are. Imagine how tired we are.
I was very confused because as a Christian who's not considered an evangelical,
Same.
I was like, wait, I missed the memo.
Literally.
So I didn't know people was harboring this type of feelings towards Jim.
So the one who looked out for the orphan and the refugee and the people of the country, that's not patriotic enough.
And let's also be real.
We're coming for the throat in 2025.
I know. But let's also be real. I don't know enough about Jimmy Carter's policies to really have a big opinion on Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, I wasn't alive.
He seemed like a nice old man. It's not giving Ronald Reagan energy. Like, it's not like, I don't know.
The fact that people will say Ronald Reagan was one of the best presidents in this, whatever it's called, the zeitgeist or whatever.
Not the zeitgeist.
The presidency. And they let gay people die, the trickle-down economics, and they're like, he was the best because cowboyism. Like, get away from me.
Just the lens in which we see history, it depends on where you're standing, and I get that. I just was overwhelmed with like confusion because I thought Jimmy was a middle of the road president. You know, like he came in, he did his job. You might have liked some stuff, you might have not, but like it was like Jimmy.
I kind of thought he was like a Dolly Parton. Like he had some stuff, but everybody was like, overall, I like him.
Yeah, like nice guy.
Yeah.
So rest in peace to Jimmy. Thoughts and prayers to his family. Happy for Jimmy.
Happy for Jimmy. Go on. Take me to the king.
All
Okay,
right,
let's move
along.
on. Okay, this one is.
Oh no, I already
yeah,
know
we
this.
need. We need to take a. We talk about popular culture and things that have happened. In all seriousness, if you live in New Orleans, we saw the news of what happened on New Year's Day. I hate to say our thoughts and prayers are with you, but we're not there.
Yeah,
we're sending love. Please let us know in the comments, how is your city holding up? We've seen articles. We've seen already the back and forth of who this person was or whatever. And I'm one of those people, we're not going to focus on that. There's people who were killed. There's people who are dead. And those are the people we need to focus on.
Right.
They weren't billionaires of health insurance companies. So I feel like we should probably focus on them.
I agree.
I'm glad it was called an act of terror.
I agree. I think that also if you have any, places for us to donate resources, please put that in the comments as well.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's hard to know where to give and who to give to. So if you're connected to any of that and you're like, I have a really good cause, please share that with us.
Yeah.
And we'd like to uplift that as well. It's a way to start the year.
Waking up and it's the first thing on your phone.
It was literally I woke up and went upstairs to have breakfast with my parents, and it was on the TV. And it was like my first, the first thing that happened in the new year. Devastating. especially because it was like kids, a lot, and kids to me is like anybody under the age of 25. But it was like people who were just there to have a good time and bring in the new year. And for something like this to happen is wild. I don't want to blame anybody. I don't think it's a good time for blame. But then a lot of questions come up of like, why were certain things not in place to protect the people who were really vulnerable in that situation? I think it's a learning experience for everyone in the country when it comes to large gatherings.
Yeah.
But in a world where we see this happening a lot, there has to be some things done to make us safe to gather in large groups in public.
Literally.
I don't know what that is, and I know people don't want to feel scared and unsafe, and I know that there's a big conversation around, like, what does that look like?
Yeah.
This can't happen.
Well, and the thing that's sad, obviously, clearly sad, people have lost their lives, people lose people they love. The thing that's also just like, is we get to a point where we see that now, even people who are so like, what can be done? And we go, damn. Are we having those black-eyed peas? Like, it's just like we've had to, I hate saying this, we've had to hold space for it so much, and we've seen it happen so much that, like, it just desensitizes you.
100%.
And it's just like, damn. And I didn't do that. You're like, damn, this sucks. Like, I know people who winter down there, and they were literally like, I hang out at those spots. Like, it's just sad, and you just think, like, how can we get better? But sometimes I'm like, are we the people to have that conversation, or it should be the other people?
It should definitely be the people in power, and that's what I was about to say. Like, I wish I had more faith in the people who are supposed to be having those conversations, but I don't, because they worried about inaugural balls and bullshit. So I don't know.
Not the inaugural ball.
I don't know what to do, and I mean, I feel helpless about it. I think most common Americans, normal people, feel helpless about, like, you don't want to not go and not do and not live, especially like as a concert. Like, we're all concert people. We love large gatherings like that. So it's like, you don't want to not participate out of fear, but also it's not worth dying over.
No.
So like having to make that choice as an individual of like, would I even put myself in that predicament? It's like it's hard to even.
I see people too, like in Europe and stuff, they'll like comment on things and they're like, LOL laughs in European. And it's just like, I can sound kind of insensitive, but at the same time, like, I mean, Gabe, you may feel this way. I mean, you may feel this way too, like restaurants, bars, but like, especially when we're at a gay bar, like, I'm always like,
I'm ready.
Like, where can I go? Where can I like? And it's just, and I'll be playing Singo, and it's like a Thursday night with like 6 people in here, and I'm like, but people are crazy.
Yeah. I again, our thoughts and prayers. I mean, that's all we can offer at this time, and I know,
or our money,
but it does sound empty. But we really are thinking and praying for everybody affected. Yeah. It's a really tough situation.
Now, just to bounce over, because New Year's Day was. The Trump Tower thing with the Cybertruck.
That's what I still don't really know. Was that in Vegas?
It was in Vegas.
Yeah. So this is conspiracy. Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly.
So there is a lot of talk of the truck that was rented for New Orleans was rented from the same app that the truck for Las Vegas.
Turo.
Oh, damn.
I don't know if it's been decided yet if they were there at the same time, but they also were both military that came from the same, I don't know the word for it.
Like base?
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of that going on.
Did people die in the Vegas situation?
I know the person driving the truck, they said it was or not alleged, assumed or whatever, that
suicide mission?
He shot himself, was in the truck when it blew up.
Oh, God.
And if you watch the video, it looks like someone's like maybe a bell person or something who was like walking around the front door.
So it killed the person inside, and then several others were injured.
Okay, but no one passed. Thank God.
Good. Don't take other people out in your stupidity.
And then all of like the stabbings and the people getting pushed in New York, like have you seen that?
No.
Oh, the people getting pushed into the subway. I saw that video. It's like people just walking up behind them and pushing them people are going crazy.
What? I can't. I don't have the emotional capacity.
But y'all want to worry about Beyonce. Should we go higher? Yeah, let's. I don't want to be like, we're gonna move on, but that is tough.
I'm telling you.
You already see it enough on the news.
Exactly, and I don't have the emotional capacity in this moment.
We're here to giggle while you eat your Caesar salad.
Yeah. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Oh, a Caesar salad sounds so good.
It does
right
sound
now.
so good.
Okay, let's move on. Sorry. Okay, there's been some celebrity.
Don't
breakups.
air quote, bitch. I will fight you over Paige.
I have no idea who these people are.
Don't get cute. We can start with Tyler and Gabby.
Okay. Who are they?
Okay, Tyler and Gabby were like these internet people who met like on the street. Like on one of those like, oh my gosh, what's your favorite color?
Celebs.
And she is really tall. She's a tall girl and he's a tall boy.
Oh.
And everyone was like shipping them in the comments. And then they started dating in real life. And everyone was like really invested in this relationship because of their meet cute.
Same.
And then they broke up.
Brad and Jen could never. And how many days of work did you have to take off for that?
0. I really don't care about those people. I will say.
I'm sorry. I would love to hold space and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, people wake up every day.
I'm just like, who? There's 2 tall people, and it's just like. But what about the short people?
But I will say, like, I'm here for the mature breakups and the like. It just didn't work out. It wasn't anything anybody did. We just didn't align. We decided to part ways. They both had really
uncoupling.
Correct. They had really nice things to say about each other. So that one was like, oh, sad. But the one that's devastating.
Oh, y'all are both.
Yes. They were like in goals.
Like I knew they were gonna get married. Paige and Craig.
Who are Paige and Craig? That sounds like 2 people on my old church worship team.
So Paige is on Summer House, and she is also co-host of Giggly Squad. I am a giggler, so we're gigglers.
I'm not one of those people who like feels old. This is like that episode of Family Guy when it's like the older you get, the more it's like, tonight on The American featuring Giggly Squad, Paige and Andy.
100%.
Like, what are these people?
Okay, so they're on Summer House. They started a podcast called The Giggly Squad. Craig is on Southern Charm, which is another reality show. They met, fell in love, and they were the cutest, funnest couple. Like, this is the thing. I have 2 things to say.
Tell me.
I want to start with the Giggly Squad and the Gigglers. I wish our people had a name. I hope we become the podcast where like our followers have a name.
Yeah. Do y'all have something?
Because like
The Rewinders.
Like I'm a part of the stage crew.
Okay.
I'm a part of the Angel Wings for Angel. I'm a giggler. I used to be a part of the Cult Babies with gigs before. Like I think it's so fun to have community that has like.
What if we called ourselves the Winders?
But I don't think.
And we go wind up.
But the thing is like I don't know if like do we make that or do the people have to like.
The people make it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Addison Rae, the racist.
I hate this place.
That's a legend. I don't know. Okay, so a fan would have to come.
I think so.
Winders, the no.
I just was curious. I don't know. Tell us what you think. If you think there's a good name that we could use.
Famous nobodies. Name drop. Go. Okay.
Anyway,
Paige and Craig.
So what I loved about their relationship, personally, was 2 individuals who are totally committed to their own thing joining their lives. And I had hope for the rest of us, honestly, that they would be an example of how to do that, like being in your 30s, both being like Paige on the come up and like becoming really successful and having a partner who was really supportive and loving and wasn't jealous of her or wasn't trying to dim her light and like them being able to merge their lives and make it work.
No, I will say that's T.
And so they were like trying to make it work. And then I guess just came to a decision of like, there's no middle.
Yeah.
And like, we've outgrown this relationship and they've decided to end it.
And that's tough.
It really is. They were so cute together. And she is just such a cute girl. And I just love her so much. And seeing her be so sad about it was like really sad for me.
Well, maybe I should lean in. What's it called? Giggle Summer?
Giggly Squad.
Giggly Squad.
But yeah, so I'm sending my love to Hannah and Craig. To Paige and Craig. Also,
you don't even know their names.
Also, Craig, though, I used to not like Craig. He's so sexy. And this relationship just really showed a different side of him. I really feel for them. I really was kind of sad. My friend Paula, I had to check on her because I thought she wasn't going to make it. People were devastated.
That's why she's not coming to your birthday.
I like the maturity of it. I love that there was no... But that's the hardest breakups, I think, is when no one did anything.
They were just it's just over.
It's just not working. And, hopefully there's space for reconciliation. Hopefully one of them is I just literally am willing to make a change.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how this unfolds.
Maybe he'll figure out he's gay, Gabe.
He does own a
Pilates studio?
a pillow.
He knits pillows.
No, that's how he started. He started a business. He sewed.
He makes pillows. You know what?
I'm done. He's so cute.
You know what? He did leave a share tape at the pool house one time. Name that movie.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Legally Blonde.
Oh.
Okay, let's talk about movies. So yesterday, before we filmed, we were like, what have we not seen yet that is either big or what do we want to see? We also were invited to a private screening.
So we were asked to see a new movie called The Last Showgirl, starring Pamela Anderson.
And Brenda Song.
It comes out January 10th. And we were asked to watch it early and give our thoughts.
Thank you, by the way, for asking us to watch it early. That made us feel so special.
I know. We loved it. So let's start there. What were your thoughts?
Well, my first thought is they send you a private screening on this little thing, and it said, rewind the podcast at the bottom. And we felt so cool. We were like, woo, toss. We were like, not them sending us a screener while we were watching it in Gabe's house eating bad chicken nuggets.
I thought the chicken nuggets were great.
Oh, but okay.
So The Last Showgirl is basically... Pamela Anderson is the star of this movie, and she's a mature woman in the Las Vegas showgirl industry that is mostly young women. And she's working through the emotions and feelings and chaos of the choices she's made to get to this point, but also the ending of the show that she's been a part of for decades.
Yeah. What were your thoughts?
I thought it was really good, honestly. There were some standouts for me that were loved.
Okay.
I love Brenda Song. I've always loved Brenda Song.
The world just needs more Brenda Song.
I know. I want to see her more often.
Brenda Song, would you come on the pod?
I love her.
We love you, Brenda Song.
Stop saying Brenda Song.
Brenda Song. Sing us a song.
I know. No, she was great, and I was happy to see her. I haven't seen her in anything in a while, so it was fun to see her in something. But my standout was the fabulous, the wonderful Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis is in this movie, and she turns the party.
She was so good and so funny and so different and so snatched.
But also, shout out to the hair and makeup team because Jamie Lee Curtis is a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
And I mean this respectfully, they made her look like somebody who had been in the sun too long and had way too many cigarettes and alcohol up until her age in the face.
Yeah.
Because we looked at her and we were like, that's Jamie Lee Curtis.
I know. And she was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Comedic timing, amazing.
She looked like a lady I used to work at with Cracker Barrel.
Really?
Who smoked, and she was probably in her 40s and looked every bit of 67.
Yeah. But she was great. It was a fun movie to watch, I will say. Pamela Anderson made a lot of really great choices as the star of the show. I thought it was good. I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
I think I would give it an 8.
Okay.
I think she should take home the best actress at the Golden Globe, and let me tell you why. I'm not going to give away the details of the movie. Go see it. It's out on January 10th. It's awesome. But first of all, as an entertainer, the story of is what I'm giving up to pursue my dream worth what I'm giving up? And that's what she essentially you're seeing her wrestle with the whole movie. And again, as someone who's worked in entertainment, someone who's been around entertainers where it's you should have clocked out a long time ago kind of thing. It was just so interesting to see. And honestly, there was a little self-reflection. I was like, I love my job and I love entertaining, but I was like, please, Lord, never let me be working at a pack sun at 40 being like, it's going to happen. And y'all are like, oh, please come snatch me.
Yeah.
Will you?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, thank you. I know I'm asking you.
No, 100%.
Okay. But the movie is great. It's got Billy Lord. It's got that girl who I thought was Billy Lord.
Kiernan Shipka.
Kiernan Shipka.
Sabrina from The Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
but After Dark or whatever it's called, the one on Netflix. The movie was really great. The acting in a good way was like chaotic.
It was so chaotic
because like Pamela Anderson, she was just very like you could
mouse
just
in the house.
Yes, mouse in that like just scurrying around, but it gave such a good performance. Go see it.
Yeah, for real, go see it. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I totally recommend it. It was great. And it's good to see her. This is what I do. I will say Pamela Anderson is on this journey right now. Mm-hmm. And as a woman of a certain age, I love where she is professionally.
The Pamessance.
Like, she is really in a good place where it comes to beauty, positivity, embracing the aging process, and then taking a role like this at this time, I think was brilliant. And yeah, I thought it was phenomenal. I was honored that we got to see it early and to give our insight. But I thought it was fantastic. Go see it.
If we hadn't got to screen it, this would be one of the ones I would have saw by myself and been like, I love this. Mm-hmm. And it was great. But shout out to Pixel Media. Thank you so much for giving us an early screening. Thank you so much. If you want us to watch something before it's out, we totally will.
We totally will.
And if you want to invite us to certain premieres that are happening around September, November, or anything before that, we're totally open and our schedule is there. We'll pencil you in. We'll pin you in. For real. Okay, let's go to the second movie, which is hot and heavy and came out on the Lord's birthday. Babygirl. What's your name? Can I put my fingers in you? Sorry.
Let's talk about this. I aspire to the level of vulnerability it takes as a performer to lay on my belly button and finger myself on camera and orgasm.
Well, if you're gay, you can do it for free on OnlyFans.
I was like, I would never. And this is how you know people are committed to the craft and to the like actress of it all.
Well, because let's start here. You're not shaming.
No.
It's the vulnerability.
It's the vulnerability for me. Because that is like it felt so intimate. In that, like, I was like, should I be watching this? And like, I'm like reminding myself that this is a film, that she did this on camera so I could watch it.
Yeah. Okay. So Gabe went and saw it on Christmas Day when it came out, and then me and Raven saw it yesterday, like I said, and the theater was packed, so we had to sit on the front row.
Packed.
And if you're living under a rock, Nicole Kidman, she's a CEO. She starts dating an intern who's much younger, and it's like a power dynamic situation. When I tell you, you have not lived until you've seen Nicole Kidman kicking her little feet saying, I'm going to pee, and you are 2 feet away from that screen.
That part really stuck with you.
It did. It did, because first of all, just the long shot. First of all, and then this is just, what's it called? Mechanically, I don't know what the word is. Logistically, she's in a pencil skirt, and he's all the way up there. Pencil skirts are tight. That's not important to the plot of the movie.
He has this thought, spoken from a Gold Star gay. Like, have you been fingering a bunch of women to know how hard it is to get up a pencil skirt?
We'll tell you about it on the Patreon. No, it was just this long shot, and it kept going in. And again, someone who's never done that. But I know a lot of women, when they orgasm, they say they feel like they're about to pee. It was just like the language of it.
It was a lot.
It was very vulnerable.
It was. I was sitting there like, ah!
Yes. And then there was like,
I'm not old enough to be here.
Literally, me and Raven were giggling.
Covering my mouth. Because I was like, oh.
It was, and okay, I will say this. Overall, what would you rate it? Because we're over here giggling, but I'll go first. I would rate it a 5.
A 5?
Nah, I'll give it a 6. Nicole Kidman is going to be Nicole Kidman in anything, but when it comes to plot, when it comes to the development, me and Raven left, and we were like, so what was that actually about?
That's why I want to deduct. I'm going to give 2 scores. I'm changing the rules.
Oh.
As a film, I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay.
As the acting in the film, like that part of it, I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Oh, no, I'll agree with you on that.
Because the acting was really good. And the content was really good. It was just, and this could be a me problem. I was confused. I was shocked, which I don't know if it made me miss things, but then I was confused, and I still don't really understand the overall
It seems
purpose.
like the overarching theme was power, but it was just like, In what level? Because I feel like where there's certain places they could go, they would zig when I was wanting to zag.
Yeah.
So what I got from it, because grew up in a cult,
Correct.
was that she never processed her trauma, which is why you see her like do therapy and stuff
Right.
like that, which then a lot of trauma can lead into sexual, how do I want to put it, fantasies or
Yeah.
like things that you get off on based on that. And so hers was, she didn't have power growing up, and so that translated it, and she became this big mogul.
Powerful person.
But come sexual terms, she still felt like she wanted someone to have power over her, which is why she then went that way.
And it wasn't the power structure that was confusing to me. It was the stakes of it all.
Yeah.
Because they also like talked about like for her to have like sexual arousal and to like get to that place, the stakes had to be high.
But I feel like that's a very common thing for some people.
Especially when you're a CEO, you're the one who said that one guy liked to have that lady on his chest.
Okay, wait. Wait, what?
I think that's what, like, it's like when you have so much power, like that's why people go to like dominatrix and things like that. But like,
that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about why the fact that and this is where I'm confused. Was she aroused because of the power dynamic, which doesn't seem true, or was she aroused because she could have lost everything in that dynamic?
That it's that one because she has everything.
Oh, I see.
So she's like, I can buy whatever I want. She can have whatever she wants. So until you have that thing where it's like,
I could lose it.
I could lose it.
Well, I'm glad I don't have it.
yeah,
No shade, no disrespect.
I still
That ain't fun to me.
the guy.
I like my job.
The guy who was acting in it, I thought he was really great. I thought Antonio Banderas gave a performance. Also, I'll just say this again: when it comes to the actual plot of it, that whole movie is just 2 hours of just tell your husband you want to be fingered.
But that's not. It's deeper than that.
It's not.
It is. It's not just. It's. I think from a woman's gaze, it is not that simple.
You were agreeing with me yesterday in the car.
No, I do. I have the right to change my mind.
Okay, Taylor Swift.
Don't stifle a black woman like that.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about stifling a black woman. You didn't even know the name of the movie we're about to talk about. What was it? 864 or whatever?
I think from a woman's perspective, as a powerful woman's perspective, it is not that easy. There's a lot that comes with that. There's a lot that comes with just tell your husband you want to be fingered. Mm-hmm. I think the male ego is very fragile. Mm-hmm. I think the power dynamic within the relationship where she made more money changes how that she could communicate about sex.
Yeah. Also, when he told her to get out, I was like, sir, you know she's making the money. You're a director.
Exactly. So I think that like just saying it and the shame and like embarrassment of even being a sexual being as a woman, all of those three things compiled makes it difficult for her to be able to communicate her sexual fantasies and needs, which is why she has this deviant behavior by cheating on her husband.
I guess. I saw more levels in The Last Showgirl. Maybe it's because I'm not a woman in power and I'm somebody in show business and you are a woman in power. Maybe you get it. I mean, you're not, sleeping with interns. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I get all. I just didn't care for it.
I did think that the themes of it were good and that like you aren't a sexual deviant for asking for what you want or for having sexual fantasies. I think that it was right here, literally and figuratively, which made it hard to like get over the like shock of it.
Yeah, maybe if I saw it again, I would come away with more, but I was just like, she's drinking milk off that plate.
I know. It was that kind of stuff where I was like,
But I think I also like applaud it for like, as someone who is sexually like liberated, that like it shows that older women can still be kinky, can still be hot, have a
100%.
banging body,
100%.
like do all that stuff, and it doesn't like.
I liked because when he was like, this isn't weird, like this isn't, but it was good. I mean, I would see it. I would probably, if I would watch it again at home.
Our friend of the pod said she saw it with her parents, and she said
You
that was
lying.
No, she said that was a fun day.
You're lying.
No.
What?
Can you imagine seeing that with Miss Dawson?
I can't even talk about it.
My mom wouldn't even go see Wicked with me
Oh, my God.
because she said it was
Did
too
I miss this in
dark-sided.
the group chat?
And you think we're going to do Babygirl?
Did I miss this in the group chat?
I think we were talking about it privately.
Oh.
In our side chat.
That's wild.
Yeah. So maybe let's round it out with like a movie that was like heartwarming.
Yes. We watched.
Gabe, what was the name of that movie?
6972.
We watched 688.
688, directed by Tyler Perry.
On Netflix, starring Kerry Washington.
And some other people.
What were your thoughts?
Can I?
That's okay.
My reaction's nuanced.
Go ahead, nuance.
That movie made me cry. It also really pissed me off.
Why?
Okay, so the movie is about
the first Black Army platoon. Is it called a platoon?
Come on, platoon.
And it's women, all women, and they are given their first mission that was outside of what you would normally think. And the stakes were really high, and there were a lot of obstacles, and we watched them navigate those obstacles.
Yeah. Obviously, like, the subject of race comes up, and like how Black women were viewed, even in the army, even as highly
during
regarded.
World War II.
Colonel or Lieutenant, I don't know how the ranking goes. Sergeant Charity Adams, Kerry Washington's character, she had 3 degrees, and they were like, yeah, but you're Black and you're a woman. And like they just gave her no regard. She was smarter than half those little white boys out there on the front lines. And I said what I said. And I'll say it because this is why it made me mad. The movie was moving because they were able to do it, and you see like how the platoon came together, what they did, what they had to go through. The part that pissed me off is where I'm crying because they have achieved this thing. The white people and the sergeants and these men who were being ugly to them the whole movie, they finally like give them a salute at the end as like a sign of respect. And it's supposed to, I think, kind of be this moment of like, they got their respect, and I was like, they never needed it. And it makes me mad that now that they've done something for you, you want to respect them. And that's where I got pissed off. And I kind of went on a rant with Raven yesterday, and I was like, it's just annoying. And she was like, love that that's your choice of words. But I was like, I know it's like so much deeper than that, but like this movie was so good, and you just see like they give so much, and they had to, like we talked about with Black artists and just things, they have to go so above and beyond to get a B. And they even said it in the movie, I won't reveal what it is, but they basically said after they do this mission, they were like so renowned, but then they go back to America and people were like, okay, you did that. And that's where the anger came in. But the movie as a whole and just like the perseverance of the American spirit, I've gone on for very long. That was the beautiful part. What did y'all think?
That's what, and I feel like as a white male, this is where I struggle because I feel not silly or stupid, but like types of movies like this where you see a Black woman or culture like struggling, it upsets me at like a human level to see like how people were treated. But then I get in my head of like I'm crying in front of a Black woman who has and will go through things that I will never face, and I feel like stupid because I'm like, you were a little white boy crying.
Me and Gabe are sitting there crying, and Raven's like, welcome to Tuesday.
No, I think it's totally fine to feel your feelings and to cry. There's nothing wrong with that. No, I thought it was really good. I thought Kerry Washington, I mean, it's Kerry freaking Washington. The standout character for me, though, I don't know her name.
We know.
Oh my gosh, she was hilarious. Hold on, we're going to get her name.
Johnny May, it was the character. Shanice Shantae,
who played Johnny May, had us laughing out loud,
hysterical,
cackling. She was brilliant.
Yeah.
Also the cast was stacked. We had Susan Sarandon. We had Oprah Winfrey. Let's go. Let's talk about Susan Sarandon.
Let's talk about another reason this movie pissed me off, because Susan Sarandon had to play Eleanor Roosevelt, and somebody on the hair and makeup team had a vendetta because those teeth, even George Washington said, dial the wood back, bitch.
The teeth, she couldn't talk.
She was like, I need to talk to you about the mission. The girls.
It was so distracting and so bad. She did great.
Susan Sarandon always
Susan
starts the party.
Sarandon.
Yeah.
But those teeth.
Good job on those wooden teeth
Good
that distracted
job.
us anytime Susan Sarandon was on there. And she was the only one in that whole movie who had a busted wig as well. But
Good
let's
job.
go.
Exactly. Shot beautifully. Dialogue was great. Writing was great. Acting was great. As far as the overarching theme,
Welcome to Tuesday.
yes, It's a story I'd never heard. So I was like, wow, like I didn't know that this was even a thing and that this happened.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I think they did a good job of like capturing the hurdles in a way that like showed like the true struggle of it all and like what it feels like to be the first of something and have to like overcome all of that. It's just hard. I have a different reaction.
Absolutely.
Because it is sad. Like I don't want it to sound like it's not sad, but because I've experienced similar on much smaller scales things of like feeling like the goalpost is always being moved, feeling like even your best is not good enough, but then you see somebody else next to you do half and get more. It's hard for me to go to like an emotional place. It's just, like you said, it's just kind of how it is. No, go ahead with your question.
Is your emotional play like do you not get emotional at all, or does your emotion go to like anger or just like relate or like apathy? Or are you just like, yeah, literally, welcome to Tuesday?
Yeah, it's not anger. A little apathy, I guess. It just is what it is.
Okay.
And because people of power have such a hard time being introspective and like seeing how the world sees them, it's hard. It feels like a hopeless cause to even like get upset. Like
Gotcha.
White men don't have to change, so why would they? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I thought they did a great. I was happy the movie was made because it gives us a piece of American history that like I didn't know about it. Did y'all know about it before? Mm-mm. Like of a lost American history almost that like needed that story. Those stories need to be told to show where we came from. Black history is American history, and because our school system focuses so much on the victor,
George Washington and the cherry tree.
yeah. We lose a lot of that. So shout out to Tyler Perry and Netflix and everybody for like giving us that history and like memorializing it in a way.
Well, and I also like these movies about Black history that aren't, and I learned this term because I used to be like, I love that movie, The Help, you know, that kind of thing, which is a good movie, but like the white savior of it all, and it's not a white savior movie. Yeah. I like that. Like
it's
this, Hidden
not
Figures,
a Black
like
trauma movie.
Yes, because I will say not to go like black versus gay, but like one thing I've noticed even about gay media is like sometimes I'm like, this is always so traumatic. Like, can we just not have two people like being gay and silly? And I'm like, do you feel that way sometimes? You're like, can I just watch a movie about two black people having fun?
Oh, 100. That's not a slave. That's not a girl. Because black people just live. You can have any movie and put black people in it, and it doesn't change the movie. So like
that's why I'm excited for that new Kiki Palmer SZA movie. It just looks like it's going to be a silly comedy.
That's the stuff that like yes, and it wasn't centered around black trauma. Also, I love that the women in it are so sophisticated and beautiful and highfalutin, and that it's not this like slave movie or like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I love the way it was portrayed. It was portrayed beautifully.
Yeah, I like that. Go see it. Okay, so if you had to rank them. Just kidding, we're not going to do that. Okay, we just have other stuff to talk about.
We do.
Which is the big one that a lot of y'all have written in about. It's this Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni. It ends with us. It starts the lawsuit. Shit's going down. I'm yelling timber.
Okay. So we all was here when Blake Lively was getting raked over the coals.
I had on that bucket hat.
For how she handled the media tour for this film. And we all said, white women gonna white women, okay? Well, then Blake comes out with it was a petition to like the civil rights people, so it was not a lawsuit yet.
Everybody's saying, because at first it was like suing.
Yeah, it was a like petition where she talks about sexual harassment, and there being a campaign, coup basically to ruin her reputation by Justin Baldoni and the PR team that was hired in the midst of all of this drama. That news broke and everybody lost their mind.
Right before Christmas.
Right, lost their minds. Justin Baldoni was called everything but a child of God. What were y'all initial thoughts at that point?
Because I think when it all first happened, I was on the side of like, Blake Lively's annoying. I'm just going to be real.
Yeah,
and so when I
totally.
saw it, I was like, well, here's the thing. There's always one side, the other side, and the truth. So I was like, I'll eat my words if it was wrong or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, let's see where this goes.
And then it continued to go.
I will say, because like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial,
right,
or even other things, I was just like, you want to believe a victim. And I'm choosing my words so carefully because, and this is where celebrity culture can get hazy, because it's like, these are real people's lives. But at the same time, like, what's happening? Like, what's true, what's not. We're seeing what we're supposed to see, kind of thing. So that's where my mind went.
So Blake was basically saying that she had receipts and text messages saying, these is proof that they conspired against me to ruin my reputation. I want to say it was New York Times did an article basically substantiating her claims, saying that these people were on a PR like witch hunt to then ruin her career. My initial thought was, I'm gonna have to wait and see. I also believe in believing the victims, believing women. I also think historically, there are certain archetypes of people who victimize them, put themselves in a victim position for political, social gain, money, whatever.
You said it better than I ever could.
And I was not sure that that was the situation that we were in.
Yeah.
And I wasn't there. But I'm also, Justin Baldoni at that point had proven himself to be an ally to women, a feminist, and all of these things. So I was not, and I'm still not willing to believe everything from one side or the other.
Yeah.
It's kind of where I was at. In the original
critique
letter or whatever to the people, Blake was saying, I did everything Sony asked me to do. Justin's the one who went off trail of what the agreed marketing strategy was to make himself look better. I was doing what I was contractually obligated to do through Sony. She said that as far as the sexual harassment claims were concerned, that they would walk into her trailer with her undressed without
breastfeeding.
Yes, without with her in different states of undress. She said that they were one of the guys was showing her pornographic images of his wife during filming. That Justin was talking about his personal sex life while discussing all of these things, and that she required an intimacy coordinator. Okay, so then she puts all of these demands into a situation, gives it to the production to resume filming. She said, I am not coming back unless all of these things are met. And to a lot of people, them resuming filming was an admission of guilt.
Okay.
So Justin and his people get all of this information. They see the things that are written or whatever, and they're like, none of this is true, and let's give some context. The text messages were altered. Things were taken out. They released the full text messages, the full conversations where it was shown that Justin was like, I don't want to hurt her. I don't want this to be a thing. He put out his receipts about her taking over the production. The things that stuck out to me was the sexual harassment allegations. The first one was that she called a meeting, and that he had receipts for this. Someone entered her trailer, knocked. She was breastfeeding, pumping, asked them to come in, and said, when I'm done, I'll come to the meeting. He also showed text messages where she texted him and said, I'm pumping in my trailer, but you're welcome to come in, which made everyone think that she was open to people being around while she was pumping or breastfeeding. She said that she was shown pornographic material They came out and said that during the birthing scene of the movie, they were talking about the birth scene of the movie, that one of the men showed a video of his wife giving birth at home and was saying, like, comparing it, like, what could be realistic and what could not, that there was no sexual context. It was not in any type of, it was a mother giving birth to a child.
That's what I read too.
The other thing was that when she said that they were talking about her weight, there was supposedly a lift in the movie. Justin had been working with a trainer who Blake wanted him to work with. I guess he made a comment asking how much she weighed for the purpose of this lift, and she got offended and wanted it taken out of the movie from his side. And then what was the other one?
Well, everything you're kind of talking about kind of comes into this. Justin has ended up suing the New York Times.
Correct.
But he is not listed as the only plaintiff.
No.
It's the people of the PR team.
Correct.
I believe some of the production team.
Correct.
And so it's like, it's not just like Justin's like, oh, I'm going to get you back. It's like you are going against many people. But one of the other things he had talked about in there was the intimacy coordinator.
Yes. He has proof of offering a meeting between her and the intimacy coordinator in the beginning and her declining.
Yeah.
So supposedly they were shocked when she was like, there needs to be an intimacy coordinator. Now, the other stuff that completely took me off guard was her and her people saying, we did exactly what Sony asked us to do as far as the marketing was concerned. And then him coming back and being like, because y'all cut me out of the marketing of the movie.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, y'all got together. He has proof that he had already decided how he wanted the marketing strategy to go for it to be centered around domestic violence victims and blah, 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 blah. The recurring theme is that she has bulldozed her way into this situation, cut him out, and he was like, yeah, you and Sony got together and said you want to do it this way. I never intended to do it that way, so I did my own thing.
Yeah.
So, like, you're punishing me for doing my own thing after.
Even though I was the spearhead of this movie.
Correct.
And somehow, somewhere, I don't remember, you might have to help me, Ryan Reynolds got involved.
Okay. Ryan Reynolds, they called Justin to their penthouse in New York to have a conversation where Justin, from his point of view, said that he was completely blindsided at Ryan yelling and screaming about him and demanding an apology to his wife because she had felt like he had disrespected her, where he did apologize and all of those things. Ryan Reynolds also rewrote, once Blake was signed on to be an actress in this film.
Yeah.
She was an actress in the film. And as time went on, she wanted a producer credit, and then she was asking for a PGA, that sounds like golf. The people who a coveted position.
Oh, that's PGA.
Yeah.
Producers Guild of America.
Exactly. Where she was basically allegedly to say, y'all have to write a letter for me to get this, or I'm not gonna market the movie.
Yeah.
And it sounds like she was strong-arming everybody from the beginning. They said that, Justin's whole thing was to be in budget and get the movie done and all the things, and that she had a lot of requirements that were out of budget and all of those things. Another thing that stood out to me was supposedly because of the Directors Guild, the people in charge, as the director of the film, you get 10 weeks with the editors to come up with your cut of the film. That is an industry standard. Blake asked to be a part of it with him. He felt, allegedly, from his point of view, felt like he had to say yes, and then got booted out. So he never got to do, finish his portion of the edit. She comes in, fires the editors, brings in the editors who worked on Deadpool, fires the composer, brings in the composer from Deadpool, and makes the now version of the film that we all got to see.
Where you were supposed to wear florals and do stuff and Colleen Hoover, which that's a whole different thing.
And has gotten all these people on her side, which, like I said.
Because I will say, when she released the lawsuit, like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants Girls, Colleen Hoover, like they're all coming out in droves being like, we support you, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to say blah, 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 blah. Like, and so on. Because, and in that moment, I'll go back to what you originally asked me. That's where I'm like, oh, okay, so like maybe we don't know all of what's going on. But then once again, we see.
It's hard to take the opinions of other people because, of course, people want to be on the side with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Like,
I guess.
Like, no, you think Colleen Hoover gonna take Justin's side over Blake Lively? Do you know what I mean?
That's
like,
that's where you're saying that's where it goes into a position of power.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds, I don't think he's a billionaire. He owns soccer teams. He does all these things. He's one of the $1 billion Deadpool, all those kind of things. And it just goes back, like you said, to that power. Are you gonna tell me no?
Exactly, and that is
You would. No.
No. No.
No.
But like they were saying, his people, Justin's people, like, we'd already spent millions of dollars on this film. We'd already put in all this time, energy, effort, and then she comes in halfway through during a break saying she ain't coming back.
Yeah.
So, like, we have to you come, like, whatever it's going to take for you to come back, finish this film so that we can do what we agreed to do, but also, like, the PR of it all and, like, the text messages that were removed from her original letter was basically them being like, we don't have to throw Blake under the bus. She lay under it by herself.
Yeah. And well, that was the other thing. The reason why the PR team is like plaintiffs on there too is because they went forward and like they said one of the PR people reached out to TMZ and was like, hey, this paints her in a bad light. Like, that is not our intention. And they were like, well, someone from the crew sent this and blah, blah, blah. And so they also have messages, like you're saying, of them, like, basically don't show her in that light.
Exactly.
Even though it sounds like she was playing in people's faces.
And, like, you can't make her tell everybody to go put floors on and go to the movie. Like, there were things that she's done that, like, is not in a good light, and that was her choice.
Yeah.
I don't like the, like, weaponizing of sexual harassment that it seems to be, to make it salacious, this is how it looks, and I'm not saying this is how it is.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I think you're about to, really go in on my thoughts, but you're more wise than me.
This is how it looks. I'm not saying this is the truth. It looks as if she was getting bad press. The Blake Lively show was coming to an end. She was being portrayed in a way that she did not like. And instead of just sitting on it, sleeping on it, she wanted to fight back and decided to ruin this man's character. Now, whether perception is reality, whatever, you know, as a person, we all know that if you accuse a man in Hollywood of sexual harassment,
it's more than likely going to go your way.
Exactly. And it's going to be a whole thing. And everything in this person's character is going to be called into question. And now, if your beef was you felt like the PR teams were coming for you, that should have been your beef.
Yeah.
But the sexual harassment claims put this in a whole other conversation. We would not be calling into question his character in the way that we are if there were not sexual harassment claims attached to this.
That part.
And that's on period.
Yes.
And for that to come out and look like it may not be exactly how it was presented is f***ed up.
Yeah, because again, this is, and I feel like I always, in my head it goes like, don't get canceled, but this is where it's like, when it comes to like, believe all women and things like that, that is a very true statement, but like you are saying, to just say, oh, well, that's how I get my good press back is by dropping that. And then if someone dares to argue, say, nah, we believe all women. We believe victims. How dare you even question what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, and so again, a lot of things can be true at once. But the thing is, at the end of the day, we are people who are covering pop culture news. And so I'm interested to see how this shakes out.
But also, I think it's also silly to pretend like Blake Lively is an intern working for a production company getting called into on the casting couch. That is not who we're talking. And I'm not saying that successful, powerful women cannot be taken advantage of, cannot be harassed. I'm not saying that. But there is a dynamic of power that has to be discussed. She is a powerful person. And in this situation, she was the most
powerful person. Yes.
Like sounds like she was calling the shots. She asked for stuff. She got what she wanted. She then began bankrolling the situation. Like, you are the one that everybody is working around. You are not playing second role to anybody in this situation.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm loving right now. I don't want to sound like an English teacher right now, but just the universal theme of power. How many movies have we talked about even on this podcast where it's all just about power? So I think deeper, I don't want to say deeper than a sexual harassment case, but it's just like what is the power dynamic here? Let's go beyond our favorite celebrities and what we're supposed to believe.
Right.
Because we're even seeing that with Luigi.
Free my nigga Ouija. It's like Wheezy, but different. Sorry, I'm not supposed to say the N-word. Sorry.
Let's wrap it up.
Okay.
All that to say, what final thoughts on that? Don't say excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm curious to see whether this goes to court.
Yeah.
Or whether this gets settled out of court. Because at this point, if you settle out of court, you're admitting guilt, in my opinion, because there is so much back and forth. We gonna see.
But that's the whole thing is that she was like, here's my letter. And he's like, no, let's go to court.
Yeah.
COURT.
Like, it's a whole thing now.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this has been quite the episode.
Long. How long we been going?
Supersized. Welcome back to your supersized episode. First one of 2025. Do not bank on this being the norm.
No.
But there was a lot to cover. We love you. Mwah. Yes.
Okay, final thoughts.
Yeah.
The Don't Make It Political comedy show is hosted by Christina Hart, who is a friend of the pod.
Yes, hello, Christina.
And a real friend. It is at the East Bowl. The doors open at 7. The show starts at 8. The tickets are $15. Blake will put a thing on whether you can get that from.
And we have the link to buy tickets in the description below if you're watching on YouTube.
Yes, but we will be guests at this live comedy show.
Yes.
So if you're in the Nashville area, come out and support, get your tickets, say hi, and we are excited to see you there.
Our first live show. Come see us unedited.
I know. And thank you to Christina for asking us to be a part.
Yeah, thank you so much. Come see us. It'll be fun. With all that being said, thank you so much for listening to this supersized episode of Rewind the Podcast. If you want to listen to other episodes of Rewind the Podcast, you can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you like podcasts. I'm not here to tell you what you like, but hey, guess what? If you want to watch us on other platforms, mainly YouTube, actually only YouTube, and watch our beautiful faces, you can watch us on YouTube. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and sign up for alerts because we've got a lot of content coming down the pipe in 2025, and you're going to want to be there for that. But with all that being said, Raven.
Thank you so much for watching. Like Blake said, if you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please give us 5 stars and give us a review telling us what you like and what you want to hear from us. You can find me on all social media platforms at I Am Raven Dawson, and we'll see you later.
Yep, I am chronically online. You can find me anywhere there's a social media site at Blake Rackley, and we'll see you next week.
Bye. Toodles.